shadow on the ground. A shadow doesn't really exist. It's just the absence of light. And yet, for that shadow to be there, something does have to exist, or there'd be no shadow. Sometimes you can't see something, but you know it's there because of its shadow. The essence of the sukkah is its shade, its shadow. The Torah says that a sukkah that has more sunlight shining through its roof than shade is invalid. The spiritual masters teach that when we sit in the sukkah, we're sitting in the tzela dehemnusa, the shadow of faith. They derive this phrase from a verse in Shir Hashirim, the Song of Songs, which says, in God's shadow, I delighted, and there I sat, and the fruit of his Torah was sweet to my palate. Faith is like a shadow. Faith is the knowledge of something's existence that you cannot see. We can know there's a God, but we cannot see him. We can experience closeness to God through tasting the fruit of his Torah, but we can never see him. When Moshe asked God to see him, God replied, "You cannot see my face, for man cannot see me and live." In this world, you cannot see God. The reason why a sukkah is invalid if it has more sun than shadow is because then you're not sitting in the shadow of faith, but in the eye of the sun. The sun's unblinking eye denies the existence of the shadow. It seems to say, there is no shadow. If you cannot see it, it doesn't exist. However strong a house we might build, it will never be able to protect us from everything. But the shadow of faith that hovers over someone who sits in the sukkah is stronger than a concrete roof 3 meters thick. The nation that dwells in the shadow of faith proclaims that existence extends beyond the here and now, beyond what can be perceived by the 5 senses of man in the brightness of the sun. The nation that dwells in the shadow of faith draws that faith from the shade of the sukkah, the shadow of faith.
Show